Testing.
Testing. Testing.
Testing.
Testing.
You know what? We're good. Let me just move some stuff out of the way that's making a lot of noise. Okay. Hold on. Should probably keep this away from my microphone. Might also help if my camera was centered on me. So, before we get into it, I guess I should show off the deck. Should also probably update my featured cards, because this deck has changed a few times, and now all the cards that were featured when I built it are not in here anymore. So, as you can see, I am playing a... Let me see. Is there a way to sort this? I guess not. So, we have a Skull Servant package. As I'm sure everybody who is watching is aware, this is the Limit 1 festival. So everything is limited to one copy. And you may say, Skull Servants? Why? Because Skull Servant's whole thing is getting multiple copies of all this stuff into the grave. To which I would respond, you're right, it's not great, but these are all cards that do a lot of searching and special summoning, and it's a little bit on the slow side sometimes, but I can generally get a 3 to 4k King of the Skull Servants out. 2k is on the lower end if I, for example, have to use White Prince to special summon it. I usually don't like to go that route unless I'm like beating over something small on the field. But the 4k is maybe like the higher end. I think like technically it's possible that I could have a 5k King of the Skull Servants, but I think that's where we would tap out, and it's a bit high roll. But average is like 3k. Excuse me, 3k. We have a Glow Up Bloom because it searches out our big zombies, which we are playing a couple of. I'll show you those when we get to them. Plague Spreader Zombie. It's a pretty good tuner. Fits with the zombie theme. I figured it's a good one of. Because we're also playing a Shiranui package. We got the Spectral Sword. We have the Spectral Sword something or other, Shade. And we've got the Spirit Master, the Samurai, the Solitaire, and the Squire. I will say the Shiranui cards are good, don't get me wrong, but they are a bit slow. I have considered swapping them for Mayakushi support, but Solitaire specifically is so good that it's kind of hard for me to be like cutting it. But jumping back up here, we also have a Unizombie to send stuff to the grave. We have one of each of the hand traps. I think these are pretty standard. The hand trap, or actually, Ash is pretty standard. Ghost Bell is questionable. I would say it doesn't come up that often, but sometimes it does come up. I've never been like, oh, I really think I lost that game because I had Ghost Bell in my hand and not something else. We've got Mizuki to banish it from grave, summon a zombie from grave. I think it's just a good generic zombie extender. Armageddon Knight sends a dark to grave. Pretty much all of our targets we want in grave are darks, like our Skull Servants are darks, our Glow Up Bloom is a dark, our Necroworld Banshee is a dark, Dark Grepher, basically another copy of Armageddon Knight. The effect to special summon itself, we actually don't care about that much. It's good if we have like an Eldritch in hand and something to send from field so we can special summon it back. It can also get a Doom King that's rotting in our hand into the grave, but that isn't usually helpful unless we also have a way to Zombie World, which, to be fair, that's Dark Grepher is that. We already talked about the Shiranuis. We have a Gozuki. Again, send from deck. The effect of special summon from hand when it leaves the field is pretty good. Just a good card to send from deck. Same thing with Samurai Skull. Our whole game plan here is just a bunch of cards to send stuff from deck or hand, mainly deck, to the graveyard, and a bunch of cards that we want in the graveyard, and we just kind of hope we don't open any of, or at least not too many of, the cards we would rather see sent from deck. Necroworld Banshee to get the zombie world that we're running, and then we're playing two kaijus, the Gamciel and the Radian. No particular reason for one of these over the other. Radian is a dark, so it occasionally works with like Dark Grepher, Armageddon, or mainly Dark Grepher. Actually, come to think of it, Dark Grepher requires that I have to discard a dark monster, so I can't even discard Eldritch, so I don't know why I said I could. We're also playing Nibiru. This one hasn't come up as often. It's really good against the Sword Soul decks that have been running around in this event, but honestly, a lot of decks just do not get to 5 summons, at least that I have run into. We're also playing a Jacobolan, gets zombies out of the hand, special summons itself. It's a guy. You can special summon zombie monsters. It's a decent card. It has helped enough. It's also worth mentioning just because it's a 7, it and either Ash or Ghost Bell makes a Barone. Same thing with Shiranui Spectral Sword Shade. But I'll get to the extra deck in a minute. Spells and traps, we got the Raigeki, the Feather Duster, Kaiju Slumber, Lightning Storm. These are our board wipes. They're pretty good. Terraforming, another way to get to Zombie World. This deck does kind of heavily depend on Zombie World, and the fact that we only have one does mean we lose pretty badly to spell trap removal. But I haven't noticed a lot of people running more than like Lightning Storm Feather Duster for that. So you're kind of playing the like 1 in 20 odds that they have an out to this, which at least so far it hasn't like lost me enough games that I'm like, ooh, I definitely should not be running a deck that has a spell and trap win con. We have Cursed Eldland because it searches either the Eldritch or it searches the traps. We actually don't end up using its effect to send from deck that often when it's sent to the graveyard, just because there are so few Golden Land traps in our deck, and we only have the one Eldritch, that most of the time I think it's not worth it. But it could come up. Imperm, it's being an effect failure for our deck that we can set, basically. Scarlet Sanguine, Huaquero, and Conquistador. Our Eldritch package, basically. The 41 cards in deck is a little bit sus, but we do have like 2 hard Garnets in this deck in Skull Servant and Lady in White. So I think it's okay to be 1 over to slightly reduce the chance of drawing those, even if it's only slightly. Extra deck, a lot of this stuff we don't really go into. Like, I've never gone into this Excel Synchron, but a lot of times it's just like the deck is good at making 5s, and I don't really have a decent 5 to go into other than this Sword Saga, and even the Sword Saga is not great. I guess I could play Ally of Justice Catastor, but I think it's actually an SR, and I don't want to spend the points on it. But yeah, the Excel Synchron, I put this in here because it's a synchro, but it's also a tuner, so it might be able to help us extend into one of these bigger monsters, like the level 9, the level 8, Barone maybe, although I don't think we have another level 5 to synchro it with. Actually, we can't make the 8 because it needs a zombie type tuner. Anyway, or we could because Zombie World. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Doom Kaiser Dragon, we can make it with Plague Spreader. It's a really good card if we have Zombie World up. Kind of a dead card otherwise, but extra deck space is... the fact that we are limited to 1 kind of means we have some flex space in the extra deck that I feel like a lot of decks don't usually get. Archfiend Zombie Skull. This is another one we don't go into that often, but it's decent. Being able to protect from card effects, pretty good. Samurai Saga. I've gone into this a couple of times, I think. Or am I thinking of a different one? Let me see. No, I have gone into this once or twice. It's decent as a beat stick. Its effect comes up very rarely, just because so many of the zombies I am banishing of my own free will have, you know, pretty low attack. I would say the largest one that we typically want to banish is Mizuki with 1700. So that effect is not going to go off super often, but let's say they called by or otherwise banish a Doom King or an Eldritch. This gets that card back into rotation, and at Book of Moons they're bored a lot of the time. So it does come up. Stardust Charge Warrior, it's a card that says draw a card on it. Never going to say no to that, especially because I don't really know what else I would make in this situation. Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon, this is a big thing we can make that is pretty strong with or without Zombie World on the board, depending on how advanced the game state is. It's pretty good. I like it. Squire Saga is really good. We go into this a lot. You know, it's a great way to do some board clearing. The only like minor downside is it's really only good after we've already gone into Sword Saga, but our deck can go into a Sword Saga often enough that I think it's pretty good. Shogun Saga, honestly, I haven't made it that much, but it's a win con. It's a big thing that is good at hitting hard. And sometimes we just need that. Our deck, I will say, is basically just go second, make a big beat stick, and hope they can't out it. Giganticastle, I just did this because I found a lot of times I was ending up with the stars to go into a 9, but not a 9 in the extra deck. So it's here as a 9 in the extra deck. Sun Saga, really good in a late game, like simplified game state. It's good as a board breaker, but realistically, we're usually trying to break their board with our power, like spell traps, before we go into a big synchro. But it can also be a good way to just recycle a bunch of cards. Barone, it's a negate. We can make it. It doesn't come out every game, but when it does come out, it's usually pretty good. Baguska, we have a couple level 4s in here. Baguska can be something we can just sit on for a few turns while we make our other plays. It's pretty good. Relinquished Anima, we've got a lot of level 1 monsters up here in the Skull Servant package. If we draw the White Prince and no other way to get it into the graveyard, this is usually our ticket to the graveyard. And Vampire Sucker, just a really good generic zombie link, or I guess it's not generic, it's a zombie link monster, but it has some nice effects to help us out. Again, it's a card that says draw a card in a format that is very inconsistent otherwise. So I think it's pretty good. The only thing I would maybe consider is throwing in like a Pot of Prosperity, because there are definitely some extra deck cards we could get rid of, but I don't know that I want to go to 42 cards, and I don't know what I would cut to make room for Pot of Prosperity. Honestly, if anything, I might cut the Nibiru or the Ghost Bell. Probably the Nibiru of the two of those, just because Ghost Bell is a tuner, and that comes up. Unless they banned Pot of Prosperity, I haven't actually checked. Maybe I just search Pot of... Okay, Prosperity is allowed. We also do half damage, though, and we are kind of trying to OTK here. I'll think about it, but for now, let's just get into some matches. Interesting, they just passed. I mean, we could just go straight into a 7-star. But honestly, I think that's not great. I think what we go is Armageddon Knight. Send White Baking. And then White Baking effect. Let's grab the White Prince. And let's grab... Ooh. Do we go White Princess? I mean, we're not gonna win this turn. But not going White Prince. Let's grab the King. I hate to not have a hand trap. But, like, we kind of need... If we choose not to take the King with the White Baking, we are kind of forcing ourselves to draw it later. And I don't like those odds. The other option is summon it off of the White Prince. But that is... It's not bad, but you need to take, I think it's called White Mare, the one that lets you summon or return a banished Skull Servant. And just... I would want White Princess there, and there is no world where we are allowed to take White Princesses that doesn't keep us off the King of the Skull Servants for a while. And we're up against Invoked. I assume this is the fusion summon fruit salad deck, uh, as I have taken to calling it, and by taken to calling it, I mean just come up with that name for it just now. But it's just every fusion archetype under the sun. I think I've seen this one around a couple times. We've been able to beat this on ladder, or not on ladder, but in the event before. So I'm not crazy worried about this. Like, even if they set a bunch of cards here, we're just gonna Feather Duster, normal summon a big skull, and see what he can do about it. Yeah, I mean, we have 4 Skull Servants in grave. Unless he has an Effect Veiler in his hand. There we go. This is our game plan. Like, Invoked is very recursive, and that's good. But at the same time, I don't know what they make that, like, honestly outs the King of the Skull Servant. What does this do? Oh, that will out it. Ooh. If this gets hand trapped, we lose. But if it doesn't get hand trapped, we probably win. Let's try it. I feel like 6 cards in hand, there's no shot that there isn't some kind of disruption. Let's try it. Like, what do you have? Is this Alistair's effect? And he's just sitting on it? Okay, let's grab the Unizombie. Wait, what do you do? Ah, I didn't read all of that effect. That's gonna be a problem. I probably should have actually summoned the other one then. Reading, my old nemesis. Interesting. Are they playing like Thunder Dragons? Or I guess Metaphys? Either way, it's weird. Are we going to win on timeout? Oh, did they actually banish something? They did banish a Thunder Dragon. I mean, that's not bad. Add one from deck to hand and special summon one. And then I assume they make a Colossus. Oh, actually, if they make a Colossus, that's just game. It seemed like they did that in reverse order. Oh no, that was correct order. Now they make Colossus? They do not make Colossus? Am I dead anyway? Am I bad at math? I believe I am dead anyway. I am dead anyway. So not the best showing of what this deck can do. I think my mistake there was just not reading what his card did. If I had played that maybe a little differently, it might have been okay. Okay, we don't mind going second. Okay. This is a pretty good opening hand. We got 2 board breakers plus an Eldritch that we can use if one of these board breakers is unnecessary. Why would you play Dinos going first? I mean, I get that it's a limited one festival and the deck isn't going to be, excuse me, the same. But usually I think of Dinos as being a going second OTK deck. The fact that we opened King White Baking is a little weird, but I think that actually works fine for us. Whew. Like, I guess they can make an ultimate conductor, right? Because they have the Ultra Evolution pill. Or don't they need to banish 2 dinos from grave or something like that? Maybe that's why the Archosaur... Oh, no. Because then that giant Rex is here. How does this work? What does this deck do? I usually think of Dino as being the deck that tries to OTK you but loses to like a single hand trap or a negate. Interesting. Banish 1 dino and 1 non-dino. Okay. Okay. So I think what we do here first is imperm bait the Logia negate. Oh man, this is gonna be weird though, because we're gonna have like no follow-up play after we break their board. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna normal summon King of the Skull Servants with 0 attack and pass. And we're just gonna hope that they try to hit it. Actually, if they try to blow it up with a card effect for whatever reason, that will work too. Yeah, we'll use white baking. White baking effect. Grab. White Prince. And White Princess. Oh, so I guess it's technically possible for us to get a 6K King of the Skull Servant. Ah. Well played. Oh, you know what? If we banish our own King of the Skull Servants, if we ever draw White Mare, we can recover it. So I think we do that. Alright, so we're in a top deck war, but I think because we have 3 cards in hand still, we're kind of favored. Spectral Shade. Honestly, like, the more I see it, the more I think about cutting the Spectral Sword Shade. Just because it's, like, the worst Shiranui card in the deck right now. But it is a level 3 tuner. And level 3 tuners just make so many good star lines for us. But then again, like, the 7s we can make right now, like this one I need way more monsters engraved for it to be good, and this one needs other Shiranui synchros in the grave to be good. So like, they're not good to just go into. So maybe it is like, whatchamacallit, not a good idea to keep it in the deck. Let's go Samurai Skull. Skull send... I think we send Banshee. And then we Banshee effect. And hope that whatever this face down card is isn't like spell trap removal for whatever reason. Oh, we could just Baguska him. That would be funny. Let's see what the card is first. Ah. We're gonna have to damage step do something. Ah, that sucks. I guess we banish the White Prince. Ah, so I believe because the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno was not summoned properly, it can't be reborn as well, which is good. Unless, like, Double Evolution Pill says something, ignoring its summoning conditions. So maybe it was. That's fine. This is all fine. Are you effectively surrendering? Ah, Chalice. Oh, you're just... yeah, you are just throwing. Here, I will do him a kindness and toggle off, since I think we're done here. You know what? Because it's funny, Oh, can you not even tribute summon this? Oh, right, I can't tribute summon except zombie monsters because of my own card. Unfortunately, that funny idea will just have to sit and wait. But hey, we got our first dub. Hey, we got the Shard of Greed. I think we just need like another 6,000 points, something like that, to get all of the rewards we want. So we're gonna choose to go second. I honestly think going second is just like the meta call of the event, kind of. So we have open to white baking, which is a little bit sus. Ooh, wait, we may have opened nuts anyway, though. Eldland. Hey! Sometimes you just make them surrender because they think you're playing something you're not. Oh well. Like, I've experienced this in, like, playing the game IRL, too. Like, some people will just, like, surrender against your deck even if you know your end board is going to be perfectly beatable, but just because they hate the deck. And I've never understood that. Like, yeah, sitting through, like, something like Barrier Statue Stun Pass or whatever for, like, 50 turns is not fun. But, like, just because a deck is not fun to play against does not mean it's unbeatable. Like I think we had a very beatable hand there, even with like everything that we opened, just because the fact that they had a response window there probably means they had a hand trap. It may not have been a good one, but they may have had one. Okay. Which hand trap will they take? I think honestly, ooh, actually, Ash could be a problem. I think our move on our turn is going to be imperm whatever big negate they get. I think this is the rank 3 turbo deck. I honestly forget what this deck does. Or like I know it does things. I'm not like crazy. But I don't know. This is one of those like big fancy combo decks that I am not good at understanding what its aim is to do. Yeah, all this is fine. They're probably going to make Rusty Bardiche, and then we're just going to imperm the Bardiche and hope that stops their turn, I think. Or actually, should I imperm this? Unless it sends for cost. I believe it does send for cost, so this is not worth imperming. Yeah, Silent Boots is fine. Does he need a Phantom Knights monster to make Bardiche? Is that a thing? He does not. Nope, it's just 2 dark monsters. Yeah, we imperm this. Silent Boot's the one that lets you set a card from deck. Oh no, it adds to hand, but basically set from deck. Okay. 3 back row. That has a lightning storm all over it. And we know the last card in hand is Ash. Our issue here is probably going to be that playing through Ash is a problem for us. I'm going to play this here in case one of these is an imperm. Oh, I don't think they would have been able to imperm anyway. Shade Brigandine. Oh, one of them was an imperm though. I think we kaiju. Like, it's weird, and I don't like it. But we need, like, Bardiche is just really good. And letting them keep it, even if we think we're not going to be able to play this turn. So now we summon Squire. We will try for the effect and almost assuredly get ashed. Yep. The good news, though, is now our Scarlet Sanguine is free to be done things with. And then we go battle. Like, we've left them with a big kaiju on board, and that's not great, but it's probably better than leaving them with Bardiche. Oh, I guess that he could just get the Bardiche back. That's not great. I mean, we can Ash the Bardiche, so it's not the end of the world, but I probably could have played that better. Yeah, we Ash this. There's not a world where we don't. Like, I think we're still okay, because we can at least summon Eldritch as just, like, a guy. Like, he has 2800 defense. Like, Kaiju can't get over it. Especially since he's attacking with the Kaiju first. I mean, we know he doesn't have Ash, so this should be safe, yeah. I think he could have Ghost Belled it, because it does have a line in there to summon from Grave. But he didn't have it. And I am A-okay with that. He's already been through a lot of stuff. Ooh, Solitaire is probably the best draw we could have gotten here. Let's do this. We grab Conk. Go solitaire. And we win. So far, so good. Oh, this is an interesting one. I think we'd like to solitaire. Yeah, we want a solitaire. What we want is to solitaire. Whether we get to or not will depend on if they happen to open their one copy of Ash, which they may or may not have. Interesting. Toon Kingdom Pass. Yeah, I think we go for solitaire, activate solitaire. If they have Ash, we cry. If they don't have Ash, we go Unizombie. We go Unizombie, effect, send from deck to grave. Where is it? White baking. White baking effect. Grab. White prince. And I guess we get white princess since white mare is kind of no good to us. Discard the white prince. White prince effect. Send. No, 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 no. Clicking buttons is not smart. Well, our King of the Skull Servants is going to be bigger. I guess we go discard one. We send Mizuki. Actually, can we summon anything off Mizuki that's like worth it? Can we resolve multiple white bakings in one turn? No. Okay. I think we honestly set the Hawk Arrow, do 100 damage, and hope that we survive a turn to make Barone and then win with King of the Skull Servants, hopefully. Sure. I mean, technically, if we discard King of the Skull Servants, normal summon Gozuki, we can still, like, do a bunch of stuff and make Barone. Oh, that is very good. Ooh. Oh, I have options. The fact that it's Glow Up Bloom just gave us options. And on the one hand, I like it. On the other hand, I do not. Let's go with discard King of the Skull Servants, make this level 6. Make Gozuki, and by make I mean summon, send Banshee, activate Banshee. Oh, you know what? Oh, this whole deck is just gas. Okay. We're going to summon Barone. Gozuki effect. Banish the Unizombie. Summon out Glow Up Bloom. Let's go ahead and pop the Toon Kingdom right now before we get too deep into this. Next, go Relinquished Anima. Glow Up Bloom. This is kind of crazy. Get a Doom King. And then we activate the Mizuki to special summon the King of the Skull Servants. And we can banish the Toon Blackluster Soldier for good measure. We got him. Like, that's like maybe the upper ceiling of what the deck can do uninterrupted over 2 turns. But it's pretty good. We're also getting a lot of legacy packs. Maybe I should open some of those. Now, we did find a Garnet. These are usual games that we just lose. They are playing Orchest, though. Like, if we ash this, what do they do? 3 cards left in hand. Does World Wand have a graveyard effect? Girsu. Sure, let's imperm this. Let's just see if you have no plays. Hey! Once again, I had no follow-up. People should absolutely continue to play when you see that your opponent is, like, just hand-trapping you left and right. Because, like, what are the odds that the last card in their hand is a starter? Like, at least see the first card in their hand that they play. Like, I'm winning games that I should not be. We drew both of our Garnets. I mean, at least this one's like a 2200 defender, so it's like capable. Setting one like bluffs imperm, maybe. Raigeki is fine. Did they also open a Feather Duster, though? Honestly, if they did, I think we would, like, prefer that. Honestly, I'm just gonna toggle off. We're gonna wait. They did lose their red reboot, which, Red Reboot was probably not the card they were looking to discard off of that Nessie, but... Oops. I had intended to activate that on the first attack, but we didn't. So here we are. Like, if we make... Alright, do we even make Vampire Sucker here? Like... Well, now we can't. Oh, you know what would be funny, though? We could relinquish away their Nightmare Phoenix. Oh, we're absolutely doing that. No shot we're not doing that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me just read this. Hey! $300 gems. Let's see, what else is on the rewards list? Yeah, 1100 is where the gem rewards stop, so that's probably where we stop. Because the rest of these are just legacy pack tickets. So, we got 8,000 gems. We're probably saving all of those for when Fluandrees comes out. I'm hoping it's next month, but we shall see. And tell you what, while we're waiting, or we're not waiting for anything, but I'm going to open some legacy packs while I go get another beer from the fridge. Mind Haxers. That's fun. We gotta perform a pal. If I had to guess, it's not a good one. Spilled on myself. Should probably be like opening these on like a stable surface. Not just like my leg. Curse of the Circle. Target one monster your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot tribute it or use it as a synchro material monster. That is niche, but very fun. Two-Mouth Dark Ruler. This just looks like a green twin-headed thunder dragon. Honestly, if I had like one thing, I wish modern Yu-Gi-Oh gave us more just like normal monsters that are terrible for the game but have like really weird neat art. like Ansatsu looks really cool, although it's probably like not playable. I mean, I don't think it's ever been playable. The fact that it has 1700 attack might mean it maybe came up at some point, but if I had to guess by the time it actually came out, like 1700s weren't worth it. Or at the very least, because the one that I know everyone brings up as like a 1700 that was playable was like Neo the Magic Swordsman in Yugi Kaiba format. Oh, we also got a Zephyra thingy that has to do with Necrozes. That's cool. Okay, this time I'm just gonna skip straight to the end. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Does Feral Imp actually, like... It's not like a good card, but this was like... I, as a young child, could not afford Pot of Avarice. Or I don't know if I couldn't afford Pot of Avarice, or I just like didn't know better. But either way, I played this to get cards back into my deck. And it was not good, most likely. And let's try our last 3 packs. Who knows, maybe we'll get an Ojama card. Like, that's the only thing I actually want out of here, I think, is like the Ojama cards and cards that support them, like the XYZ Dragon Cannons. That's a thought, describing those cards as cards that support Ojamas and not the other way around, but still. This hand is really good aside from the Skull Servant. But we've got, like, effectively a removal spell. Actually, this hand's kind of bad. Oh. Oh. Well, if you're just going to set one and pass, this may be playable. I think we go this, this, send your face down. It's a Mirror Force. Why are you playing a Mirror Force? Even in a Limit 1 event. Like, there's gotta be better removal than a Mirror Force. Ghost Ogre. Interesting. So the thing is, now I don't actually know what to, like, send to grave off of this. Oh, no, wait, we can still send a Skull Servant. Why was I thinking we couldn't? Let's go White Baking. Let's go... Ooh. 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 We still activate White Baking? Oh, no. Manage the Eldritch, I guess. It's not great, but we gotta do it. So we add Prince. And we've already normal summoned this turn. I think we go... Ooh. Let's go White Mare. Discard Prince. Special Doom King. Send Skull Servant, send Lady. Then we go Prince. Banish these two. For King. And then we go White Mare. I think in this instance, I would rather return a Skull Servant to the graveyard to boost our King's attack. If they're playing Spell and Traps to destroy us, they're playing Spell and Traps to destroy us. But, like, we can Ash a Kaiju Slumber. That's the only Spell and Trap removal, actually, that we can out. I guess we'll do this. So we don't draw something Eldritch related. I guess in hindsight, I shouldn't have banished the Eldritch. But like we needed to activate the White Baking. I guess I could have gone White Baking 1, Gozuki 2. But then our King of the Skull Servants is also only 2,000. Also, they Feather Dustered, perhaps forgetting that we're only allowed to have one Eldritch, so this is nothing. Okay. Well, I did say if they're playing the outs, they're playing the outs. We may as well do this. Get our last Eldritch card out of the deck that we can search. Do we have a Shiranui Engrave? We do not, so this is a dead card right now. I think we just put this guy on, like, you better have this. Maybe we just say, you know what, normal summon Ash Blossom. We're going to make an 8-star synchro, and you are going to lose if you can't stop it. And I think the answer is that he can't stop it. Oh, nope, he's still here. I think we even decline the effect. We just say, you know what? This guy's got 3k. If you cannot stop it, you are going to lose. Is it Torrential? They are playing Mirror Force, so Torrential is maybe not out of the question. Oh, you could have picked so many better targets in my grave than that. Like, it does out it, but I would not have done that way. Probably should have gone for the Doom King, but yeah, Doom King's probably the most threatening thing I still have in there. We have ways to revive the King of the Skull Serpents, but it's not nearly as consistent as just having a field spell that we play effectively 3 copies of. No, this time I think we go Unizombie, send from deck. Like, he's gonna live another turn, but the odds that he is surviving more than this turn is unlikely. Because now in his standby phase, we're just going to get Doom King back. Unless he drew Called By, but I guess he didn't. So now you have... Okay. This does out Doom King for a turn. Actually, semi-permanently. This isn't bad. Yeah, this does out my board. This outs my board, but I refuse to believe we are in a losing position yet. Because he's going to have to Pankratops, get rid of Zombie World if he has any hope of continuing to play. And now, he could make Striker Dragon here, but if you're this guy, I think you... I was gonna say, I think you don't do that because it has 1,000 attack. And if I draw a 1900 beat stick, which granted I don't have, but he doesn't have to know that. Actually, I kind of do. I have... whatchamacallit? I think the level 5 is a 1900. It is. But he also had Noctivision in hand, so maybe with that in mind, we do that. I don't know why you play Boot Sector here. It does nothing for you. These are not rockets. The Lingerous Dragon's okay. Noctivision draws a card. Yeah, I don't think you play Boot Sector there. Like, you hold it, and then if the card you draw is a, whatchamacallit, then sure. Oh, there's also a field spell back on the field. That's pretty great. Like, we need to draw a Shiranui monster. It's kind of the struggle here. Unless this guy left. You know what? I think we just go ahead and we set our imperm and we say, you know what? Out this. We win next turn. So you gotta deal with this. Okay, you have a magic cylinder. That buys you one more turn if I don't draw anything. Okay, you drew a rocket monster. I think we wait and we just oof. Playing the level 7 rocket. You are down bad for playable cards, good sir. I mean, Triple Burst is just like a guy. But we can just keep walling up with Doom King. I see no reason to expedite anything. The only thing that's kind of scary here is that if he has an access code talker in his extra deck, any monster is like the end of the game. Or actually, it's not, because we have Imperm face down. Ooh. White Princess is not a good card in this case. Like, I think part of our issue here is... Oh, you know what? We can summon Doom King on his turn. We normal summon the White Princess. We make Vampire Sucker. I guess we summon it here. And then we pass. And then, in his standby phase... we get Doom King back, draw a card, and can banish a card with Doom King's effect. I think this is game? Like, even if he summons back 2 rockets, having 2 rockets back doesn't actually do anything for him, I think. I guess he could make spheres. Like, I think we just have to banish Triple Burst. Ah, the one remaining card in our deck that does nothing. But I'm kind of glad we drew that now, instead of, like, next turn. So he's gonna have to play through some stuff. This is fine. Like, we're not doing anything. Like, his play here is gonna have to be summon spheres. But then, like, can spheres do anything to stop us, really? I don't think it can. Our only real concern here is that we have to be able to get through the magic cylinder and spheres if he goes spheres. But we have a normal summonable monster, so we can do that. Or actually, because spheres will summon a monster, we won't be able to do anything to that. Oh, I guess this is still a Link 4. But depending on what Link 4 he makes, we are still fine, I think. It's a Borreload dragon. Okay. Oh, Borreload is the one that lets us, like, lets him steal my monster, right? Hmm. Yeah, we have to negate this. I mean, the fact that we negated that, though, probably means we win now. Because we're going to banish it when we summon the Doom King. We know the face down is cylinders. And then we just summon literally anything. And we're going to get a draw off of this, so we might even get an out for the cylinder. Okay, this is a little crusty, because now we have to... Oh wait, actually, I think we win just because we normal summon this, activate the effect, special summon the Spectral Sword, and then if we attack with Sucker, Spectral Sword, like some combination of these wins, yeah. That was a hard-fought match. See, this is one of those hands where you can make a Synchro 9 with the Jacobolin and the Spectral Sword. may end up not going that route, though. Let's go Jacobolin discard the Spectral Sword, actually. Interesting. You have something to this? Ooh, actually, we could do some spice here. Activate effect. Actually, do we want spice? I don't know that we want spice. Ah, ash. Ash means we're definitely not doing any spice. Like, we could go Vampire Sucker, draw a card, but I think that actually isn't worth doing. Battle Fader. No shot this deck plays Battle Fader. What are you playing? I have to know now. Like, is Battle Fader just a guy in this deck? I mean he probably is. But like, how teched out are you for Battle Fader? Like, are you playing a Relinquished Anima to go into off of this? Or a Linkuriboh? Probably not, just because it's the friggin' You know what? Let's take his Ash Blossom. Like, this deck likes to fuse a lot from Grave. Let's take your Grave stuff. And also, like, kind of insulate our Jacobolin from stuff. Okay. Pardon the loud noise there, sorry. Okay, so like they banished our Spectral Sword, that kind of sucks, but we can work with that, honestly. Are you just doing Winda Pass, my guy? Cyberstein. Interesting. Honestly, that's fine. Oh, honestly, we might just have the perfect out to this in hand. Like, the Purgatrio is kind of a problem, but like, what if we just do Shiranui Samurai, Why are we waiting? What could you possibly have in hand? It has to be in hand. Effect Veiler. Got it. I think we let the Veiler go through. Then we just go battle phase. Let's attack over the Cyberstein. Like, he's already probably done everything he wants to do with it, but doesn't hurt to... Like, okay, you stopped me on my turn, but presumably you've read that this is a quick effect. And like, even if you try to Purgatrio over this, I can banish the Purgatrio, which isn't as valuable as, like... Oh, right! Oh, I'm dumb! I'm so dumb! Wait, if we do this now, we're fine. Ah, you perhaps did not fully read my card, sir. Or he did and just, like, didn't suitably play around. Oh, hold up. Because we actually do want to get over this window, I think. Or do we? Like, letting them get Shaddoll Fusion is probably, like, a lot worse than just, like, letting them do their thing. Or actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think we can win this turn. We do this. White baking. Do the whole dealio. Like, if we just grab a white mare off of this, I think we win. Unless the card in hand is Imperm or Veiler. But why would you not activate that on the Samurai Skull? Like, when I was saying we usually beat this kind of deck, this is more along the lines of what I was thinking. We just kind of beat over their fusions with our big guys. And usually we like to normal summon our guys, so I think it's Construct is the one that destroys special summoned monsters. We really don't care about that one as much. Okay, I think I've got time for a couple more rounds. Let's see if we can, like, polish off our event medals. That might be saying a bit much, because our deck is a little bit slow. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, 2 board breakers. And no serious bricks in the opening hand. Although, do we even play a board breaker on set 1? I think we don't. If this is imperm, we are mega punished. If it's anything else, we're fine. I'm gonna go for anything else. Should not have played those odds. Like, I guess I should have really weighted on, like, what cards do people set that are not imperm? They set, like, Eldritch cards, and that's basically it. So I probably should have been on the read that the card in hand, or the card that was set was imperm. But maybe now they'll think I'm playing imperm. And to play around it even though I don't have it. So while we're waiting for this guy to make a move, I'm going to grab another drink from the fridge. Ooh. Pank is a move. I'm going to actually toggle off. There we go, no spills this time. Interesting choice to Kaiju. Ah, that would be why. You know what? Even though I would prefer not to do this way, like I would rather not take all this damage from the Pank. Because presumably he would have just popped it with the Pankratops effect. So I say we do the Lightning Storm here, given that we have the Raigeki and the Feather Duster. So we can actually, like, make plays. Now, our real problem here is that we have no follow-up play. Like, I think we set Plague Spreader pass. And hope that that was, like, most of their gas. Which it probably wasn't, because what, we saw Pankratops, we saw 2 Kaijus, and we have seen an Imperm. So, like, probably we haven't even seen their core engine, unless it's just all Kaijus. They might actually be playing a variant of Luna Kaiju. That's something. Oh my god, am I gonna get crooked cooked? Although Crooked Cook usually needs to be made with, like, specific material to make it, like, fully immune, right? Unaffected by other cards' effects. So, I mean, we could kaiju this, I think. Or we could just hit over it, like it's not immune to battle. Monster Reborn. Get Pankratops. I think that getting the Pankratops is fine, because like... Like, you know what? Like, if we pank here, we definitely lose the Eldritch. Or if we activate the Sanguine on the pank attack here, we lose the Eldritch. I think we go for this. We take the damage, and then we see if he is willing to let us trade for it. Yeah, I think this is good. So now we activate Raigeki. Right? Oh, we could just Plague Spreader effect. That won't matter. So now you are going to lose this Pankratops. And now we just chain to the Pankratops effect. And then Crooked Cook is very outable on this board state, I believe, unless Astral Karibo gives it protection or something. Let me see. Ah, no. It is immune to battle and card effects. But it's still not, like, unbeatable. Like, we can still just continue to hit over it over and over again. If we go... target... let's just target the Eldritch, let's just make it huge for no good reason. We go White Baking effect. Grab this one. And I guess we get Princess since we already have the King. So we won't be able to summon it. I guess we could get Plague Spreader back, but given that we can't actually summon anything with it, I think it's... I guess we could make Vampire Sucker, but we would lose it immediately. Or not immediately, but... we would lose it quicker than we would get any value from it. Let's just do our 200 chip damage for the turn. And then... we'll start hitting harder next turn. Honestly, this Crooked Cook should probably be in defense mode. I don't know why he didn't summon it that way. I mean, Plague Spreader is fine. Okay, you can punch over an Eldritch for now, but I'm about to make it bigger. Yeah, this does nothing to help this guy's game plan. I don't know what his plan is. Unless this attack boost is permanent, but I didn't think it was. Yeah, until the end of this turn. Let's activate this just to get it engraved to make our king a little bigger. And then let's go send a card to grave. What do we actually want in grave? I think Banshee. Honestly, I think we're not going to be able to use the Feather Duster. I think we go Eldritch Pitch Feather Duster and keep the Conquistador for future use. And then from here, if he for whatever reason does not put this, if he for whatever reason, what was I going to say? Basically, if he puts this to defense mode, our win con is draw a kaiju. If he keeps it in attack, we're probably just going to win on our next turn. There we go. We could just keep dumping cards from our deck with Unizombie, though, until we find our kaijus. I mean, Ash is fine. It's a... I guess we go Unizombie. Pitch. Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom, get Doom King. Just keep thinning that deck till we find a kaiju. Because even Interrupted Kaiju Slumber actually won't save us here, come to think of it. I guess I could have put the Ash back on top of my deck and made a Barone, but honestly we have... Not that... We actually don't have a ton of negates. Maybe Barone would be good. But... we're setting ourselves back from our long-term goal of drawing a kaiju if we do that. Jacobolin. Good card. Well, we don't actually know what we would want. I guess we keep sending stuff from deck. Try to thin our deck as much as we can. Let's just boost the Eldritch's level. Like, there are ways things could come up. Like, I guess we could start banishing cards from his grave, but I don't even know that that would matter. Like, we send the Spectral Sword. There's nothing in the grave we actually want to get out of this, but honestly, at this point, I think we just keep the hand decent. Like, we got 2 kaijus in this deck. We will find one of them eventually. Especially if we keep just dumping cards. Although I guess I should be careful. I don't want to, like, run out of targets to put in grave and end up with being forced to send something I actually want in deck. Like, actually, I think after this... No, actually, we can afford to send Shiranui Squire because our other targets for it are already in grave. So let's see, we've got 2 kaijus. That's a 1 in 7.5 chance of drawing it. Technically, I guess Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is a way to a kaiju. Hey, we found our kaiju. Thank the Lord. And now we get rid of the kaiju. And this is where we find out they play Battle Theater. Actually, you know what? Let's make a Barone. That stops a Battle Theater. Never mind. We did it! Tell you what, how are we doing? Let's do one more game. I think I have time for one more. And that gets us to 10,000, and that's a good place to call it. It's interesting how many people choose to go first. I really don't think that's the call with this sort of format, but maybe I'm wrong. Ah, the 3 turbo deck. Or maybe it's just Phantom Knight. Or there's no shot, it's just Phantom Knight with only 1 copy of each card. You kind of have to mix engines in this format. Unless you're playing like Hero or one of the other ones that have like an ungodly amount of support. Yeah, it's 3 turbo. My only concern here is whether this deck is capable of making Rongo. I've never seen it in the Limit 1 event. But I know this is very similar to the like Phantom Knight list that does make Rongo. Oh no, they're just gonna Draco Future me. That makes sense. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Dante Mills, since, you know, they're gonna turn it into something else anyway. Maybe you get lucky and hit a BA card, or maybe they're all like they've already seen the handful of BA cards they want, so they didn't bother. But they've got a monster negate that is also a snatch steal if the monster happens to be on board. Actually, honestly, our deck might just lose to this unless I draw exactly a Speller Trap to send off Eldritch. Because it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So even if we draw a Raigeki, I would probably rather use it with the Eldritch to force the Draco Future negate. Man, this guy is just continuing to go. Like, even Fogblade, we can, like... Fogblade sucks for us, but... there's actually not that many cards that make this a playable hand for us. If we draw a Kaiju... if we draw Interrupted Kaiju Slumber... that is not great, but potentially good enough. IP Masquerena is tough. Ooh, there is like... man, they just drew all gas, didn't they? Don't tell me they haven't normal summoned. There's no shot, right? Like, why would they add the Xiamen for anything other than follow-up on, like, a turn 3? I think if we draw Kaiju Slumber... no, I think even if we draw Kaiju Slumber, we're doing it to, like, out something. Interesting that they made the Appaloosa now and not on my turn. I guess it doesn't make a difference. Actually, now that there is an Appaloosa and a thing, I think we just lose. I mean, this helps, maybe. Like, I guess we activate the Imperm. Negate the Appaloosa. So the issue here is if we negate literally anything, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Let's try baiting a blind negate with the White Princess. Do it, I dare you. Don't wait long enough to read this card and realize this does nothing to you. Ah, dang it. Okay. Well, I guess we go Banshee into the Appaloosa and hope we're not dead. Even if he Fog Blades the... well, he was very kind not to Fog Blade this. Main phase 2, we pass. Activating Imperm No, activating Imperm was the right call there. We got rid of the Appaloosa. And like activating the Eldritch effect would have just instantly ate a Appaloosa negate, and then we had nothing. Gilasaurus. Are they that down bad for level 3 monsters? I guess it is a free special summon. I mean, we actually might not be dead here. We're dead here if we get rid of the Banshee outside of the battle phase. Actually, even then we're not dead right now. But we're probably dead if anything else happens. I'm impressed this guy still has targets for Bargish. Oh, are you gonna make Rongo now? Wait, why could I not respond to that? I'm toggled off. That was dumb of me. Well, let's try to do it now. Yeah, I figured. Dante? What's Dante's graveyard effect that can activate right now? Oh. Because he detached it. Got it. Okay, we live with 900 life. If we draw a trap card, or I guess a spell card, technically a spell does it too. We can out this. Or we can't out everything, but we can get everything except the Draco Future. That does not help. We are probably just dead. Let's try it. No shot they let this happen. Yeah, GG. GG. So I think I'm going to call it a night here. No, we're done. We are done for the evening. Happy Father's Day, everybody, if that is a thing that you are celebrating today. Happy Juneteenth. What else? Watch me on Tuesday. Tuesday is when I stream now. I'll be playing some more Persona 4. We're like kind of close to wrapping that up. It's kind of nice. That's like playing every Persona game in order has been a project for this stream since I started it almost, actually, I think over 2 years ago now. And we're almost there. Like after 4, it'll just be 5, and then if 6 is out by that time and there isn't some weird embargo that makes me not want to stream it, 6 will be the last one. We'll see. Anyway, that is all from me for the night. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you on Tuesday.